Hey folks, Ilya with TWRAPS here, and I'll show you how to install the tail lights clear protection film for the Cybertruck. This is an 8mm PPF. We'll probably offer a 10mm version as well, but it doesn't make any difference in terms of installation. Now you have two bottles with the install kit, this size, not this size. One of them would be a tack bottle, which you would fill with just water. The other one is slip bottle, which is already pre-filled with a drop of soap. You just add water to it, and you're good to go. Now, before you begin the installation, make sure the installation area is very clean. So we'll be doing this piece, and on the bottom, where the blinkers are. Now, assuming this is clean, I'll spray it with soapy water. Then I'll grab the film. And on the film, there will be P and D letters for passenger and driver side. Make sure to follow that. The way you do it is you spray the film on top, you peel off a little bit, you spray the bottom where the adhesive is, and then you peel off the rest. Make sure it's wet. And then do a line. And use the squeegee to remove the water. This is where the clean water comes into place. You spray this area here with clean water to allow it to stick, taking that fault over here. And this is a very small piece which is very prone to repositioning itself. So I'll just respray with clean water. Go again, positioning it. Make sure you take all the water out, otherwise you end up with bubbles. If you end up with the edge of the film sticking out, you can either leave it for a while to dry up and then you can just push it with your finger and it will stick, or you can use a heat gun right away or a hair dryer and it will stick. To demonstrate how you can handle the edge with a heat gun, I'll just use mine. You just warm it up and push it with your fingers. Now let's move on to the big piece. Again, spray with soapy water. Then spray the film on top. Peel off. Spray. And then align. Next up, I'll take all of the water out from the upper part and we'll work on the folding of the lower part. Take your time removing all of the water here to avoid having any trapped water under the film. Okay, now let's do the folding over here. Usually it would be as simple as doing this with the squeegee, but it also depends on the temperature and whatnot. So if it's not that simple, what you can do is to lift up a little bit like this and spray with clean water. And by the way, I just found out that's why I was squeegeeing. I pushed the film up under this trim, and now I'm missing this part because it went all the way up. So if that happens to you, you can, because we're still in the installation process, you can remove, respray, and realign. It's not a problem before the film starts curing. And now it folds. When you're dealing with thin, long pieces such as this, the risk of the film misaligning while you squeegee is pretty high. Just don't panic and reapply. Make sure you push the squeegee, especially around this curve, so you don't leave any water trapped here at the curve. And again, if the film is not sticking somewhere, for instance at the fold, or you aligned it in a way that it's sticking out of the edge, like I did here, you can either leave it for a few hours to dry up, and then you can just push it with your finger and it will stick, or you can use a heat gun or a hair dryer right now, and it would stick right away. So now the edges are pretty much sealed. I would still check in a few hours. If something lifted up, I'll just push it back. But like I said, once the film is dry, it will be really sticky, so you can easily push back anything that might be lifting up. And I recommend checking in a few hours, and maybe the day after, just to make sure everything is looking good before the next time you go to a car wash. Now I'll move on to the bottom pieces. I'll do the reflector. And I'll use the clean water. This is a small piece, and I think it will be easier to install with just clean water without getting anything trapped in there. Now the tricky part here is getting the squeegee in there. And last but not least, this piece. I'm again using just clean water because those are too tiny. And if I'm to use soapy water, I'll have a lot of hassle making them stay. And that's it.